Good day, class. Once again, I am Miss Aileen Diez Uno, and you can call me Miss Uno, and I will be handling Education for Sustainable Development or GEE2 this week. So, unfortunately, we can't hold virtual classes because of the circumstances that the typhoon Agaton and Bashang has brought. So, we have again another power interruption, as well as the weather is not still good, so it won't be safe for some students to go out of their homes, no, just to find a stable internet connection. So just bear with this recorded discussion. I hope that you will finish watching the video, and I hope that you won't skip some parts kay wa bitaw ni ads, so that you will be able to understand and grasp the information that I will be discussing later. So let us meet halfway. As much as I wanted to have the class so that we will be able to interact with each other, no, I will be able to get to know you. But then again, wa man sugti sa panahon. So yes, just bear with this. So without any further ado, let us start. So I have here a word search puzzle. So all you have to do is find the hidden words here that are connected to our topic for today. So I hope that you have um, find some words already. And I also hope that you still remember what Ma'am April have discussed last week, no? Which is about efficiency and innovation and green growth and rebound. So I hope that you will not forget what Ma'am April has discussed, and of course, the other discussions of the previous STs as well. So I hope that you will remember and won't forget those things, because you will be using that in your journey as well as in your daily lives, no, you can use man those lessons. So I hope that you have find the words that are hidden here. So I have here 5 hidden words that are, yes, connected to our topic for today. So the first word is sufficiency. So here's sufficiency. I hope that you have find this sufficiency. Next is labor and income and consumption. Here's consumption and lifestyles. So I hope that you will remember those words, because we will be talking about that later on. So for our objectives for today, so at the end of the 60-minute discussion, the students are expected to A. Define sufficiency, income and labor, and consumption and lifestyles. B. Create a slogan about sufficiency and consumption and present it through a video. And lastly, explain the importance of sufficiency, income and labor, consumption and lifestyles in sustainable development. So although you are in your respective homes, I hope that we can still achieve these objectives at the end of this discussion. So with the words that we have found a while ago, so those 5 words, I hope that you already have in your mind the topic that we will be talking about today. So today, we will be talking about sufficiency, income and labor, and consumption and lifestyles. So I have on the following slides questions to ponder. So reflect upon yourselves and think how is it associated with our topic for today. So first question is that how much is enough? So gaano ba karami yung kailangan natin? So how much do we need? How much is enough for us to live? Next question is, how much is necessary in order to live a good life? So how much should we consume in order for us to say that yes, we are living a good life? So I hope that you have in your mind the reason why am I asking you these questions. So the real core of sustainable development is sufficiency. So upon those questions and with this next question, reflect upon why is sufficiency the core of sustainable development. So the question is, what level of consumption is possible today for living generations without ruining the natural foundations of life for future generations? So how can we enjoy our lives at the cost of our grandchildren? So how can we enjoy living today in the present times without compromising the ability of the next generations to provide their own needs? So again, sufficiency is the core of sustainable development. So upon reflecting on those questions, what do you think is the definition of sufficiency? So sufficiency Sufficiency addresses the question of how many products and services consumers actually need. So, how much do we need, or how much should we consume to suffice our wants and needs? So, that is sufficiency. It's more on how much or how many products should we consume, or how much services do we actually need to live. So next is sufficiency is a challenge for individual consumer behavior. It is not just about eating less or flying less. Sufficiency is questioning the whole concept of pursuit of happiness by means of increasing the production and consumption of more goods. It is breaking up the vicious circle of more needs, more income, more work or labor, and more consumption. So, the question that was presented earlier stated that how much is necessary in order for us to live a good life. So, it's questioning the whole concept of pursuit of happiness. So, how much do we really need in order for us to say, yes, we are living a good life? So, it's sufficiency is not just about that. So, it is breaking up the vicious circle of more needs, more income, more work or labor, and more consumption. So in sufficiency, we strive to have less mobility, less consumption, and less energy demanded. So, diba? Less is more. So in sufficiency, we strive to have less in everything that we do. So, mauto less consumption, less energy demand, and less mobility. So that's the aim of sufficiency. Next is sufficiency is primarily an individual search process, testing new consumption patterns, exploring and finding new lifestyles. So, diba, I have said earlier that in sufficiency, we should strive to practice less in everything that we do. So, with that, when we say less consumption, less energy demand, so, diba, the economy will be affected because the government should aim to like have more economic wealth, diba? So, with the GDP, diba, that's the measurement of the economic wealth of our nation. So, we strive to achieve more income dapat. But then again, insufficiency, we strive to have less for all the things that we do. So, it will affect the economy. So, insufficiency, it's not just more on the individual behavior of a person, but insufficiency, it is also a challenge not only for individual decision making but also for political decision making on the framework of conditions that are always a determinant in consumers' decision making. So again, if we strive to have less in everything that we do, so our economy will be affected, which is like an irony of the goal of the government, which is to accumulate more economic wealth. So there should be a systematic and consistent government policy that would go hand in hand with sufficiency. So research on and implementation of sufficiency policy is the next crucial step for sustainable development. So it's not just about the individual behavior, but political decision making is also crucial for sustainable development when we talk about sufficiency. Kay lagi, we strive to have less in everything that we do. So, dapat there is systematic and consistent government policy with regards to sufficiency. Diba, in sustainable development, all the fields of the society are interlinked or interconnected. So, with social, environmental, the government or political aspects, diba, these are connected. So, these should go hand in hand to achieve sufficiency. So, if why government support, so there will be less effect with sufficiency. So, these aspects or fields of the society should go hand in hand to achieve sustainable development. So we have talked about earlier about breaking the vicious circle of more income or more labor. So we will define what is labor and income. So reflect upon yourselves and think of what is labor and income. So labor represents the human factor in producing the goods and services of an economy. People provide their labor to businesses in exchange for wages, and they trade their unpaid leisure time for paid work time to make a living and be able to purchase goods and services. So on the other hand, income generally means the value or amount that the individuals receive for their labor, products, or services. So, di ba, when we say that in sustainable development or in sufficiency, we strive to have less in everything that we do. So, the goal of sustainable development is to have less consumption. So, when there is less consumption, so less income will be needed to suffice our needs kay less ra man atong i-consume. So dapat less ra unta pod ang income nga magamit. So there will be less work and we can have more time for ourselves and more time for recreational activities or anything that will improve our well-being. So that's the goal of sustainable development man. Na less work, less income, more time for ourselves. But then again, the reality, that's the opposite of the reality, no? So others will have kuan man gani 2 or 3 jobs just to suffice the needs of their family man, diba? In reality, so di wa pa nato na-achieve ang goal sa sustainable development, which is to have less. Kay again, in reality, dapat mo kayod kay para makasuffice sa atong needs. So, kayod kay gastador, kayod kay daghan o gastuanan. So, I hope that someday, somehow, the goals of sustainable development will be achieved. So, we should strive to have less mobility, less energy demand, and less consumption. And we could also use different and more efficient solutions. Say, for instance, a more fuel efficient car or other ways as to how we can achieve sufficiency. So we can use renewable energy. We can also use energy efficient appliances. So as well as katong giingon bitaw ninyo nga examples when Ma'am April asked you on how you can be efficient. So I guess someone answered na when he goes shopping kay magbring og own eco bag, so things like that, and plant more trees. So there are a lot of ways as to how we can be efficient, and sufficient. So we really need to work on ourselves para ma-achieve ang goal sa sustainable development. And also, other aspects of the or other fields of the society should also do their part. So let's proceed to consumption and lifestyles. So I hope that you are thinking already about the definition of these terms. So what is consumption and what is lifestyle, and how is it associated with sustainable development? So first, consumption is the utilization of economic goods in the satisfaction of wants or in the process of production. And lifestyle is a particular way of living. Lifestyles are closely linked to material and resource flows in the society. So, how is it related in sustainable development? So, sustainable consumption and lifestyles. So, in sustainable consumption and lifestyles, it is the use of goods and services that respond to basic needs and bring a better quality of life while minimizing the use of natural resources, toxic materials, and emissions of wastes and pollutants over the life cycle so as not to jeopardize the needs of future generations. So, that's the number one aim of sustainable development, diba? That we will be able to utilize the resources that we have today without compromising the ability of the next generations to provide their own needs. So, yes, we should minimize the use of natural resources and toxic materials and emissions of waste and pollutants so as not to jeopardize or compromise the needs of the future generation. So we will enjoy these resources as to the cost of our grandchildren. So we should really think upon the next generations so that they will be able to provide their own needs someday. So a sustainable lifestyle is a way of living enabled both by efficient infrastructures, goods and services, and by individual choices and actions that minimize the use of natural resources and generation of emissions, wastes, and pollution while supporting equitable socio-economic development and progress for all. So creating sustainable lifestyles means rethinking our ways of living, how we buy, and how we organize our everyday lives. It is about transforming our societies and living in balance with our natural environment. So, the goal of sustainable development really revolves around utilizing our resources today, but also not compromising the ability of the next generations to provide their own needs and wants. So, as to consumption, we should really conserve as much as possible or preserve and conserve our natural resources. So, if naiingon bitaw about this is about food consumption. So, I have heard something like this nga kanang di ba sometimes someone will say nga hutdan ang imong gikaon kay di tanan ron na ay pagkaon sa ilang plates, so gigutom ang uban, and then mo answer bitaw ka nga kanang if kanon ni naho mabusog day sila. So for me that's very rude and very selfish, no? Kay again, it's not about nga if mukaon ka na mabusog sila, but it's about not wasting food, man. That's the point. We should not waste food and our natural resources. Okay, we should think about others na we should put ourselves on their shoes na what if kitay naa sa ilang part, no? So if nay mo badlong bitaw nga ugta ng pagkaon kay na ay daghang tao nga way gikaon. So please don't be rude, and yes, reflect upon yourself na what if ako tong naa sa ilang part, diba? So yes, with food consumption, we should only eat what will suffice our hunger. So kay nay uban, if makakitag daghan kaon, kay di ba maghakot to the point na gluttony na. So that's still bad man, di ba? So yes, we should only get the food that can suffice our hunger or that will make us full. So di mag-usik-usik og pagkaon, kay yes, others don't have food to eat, and of course for the next generations to enjoy also what we are enjoying today. So sufficiency revolves around sustainable development as well as efficiency. So these things go together to achieve sustainable development. So if sa una na-achieve ang pag-eradicate sa slavery as well as other social problems, so I hope someday, somehow, the goals of sustainable development will be achieved, no, together with us. So let us do our parts so that we can achieve sustainable development in the near future. So future is not near. So yes, that's the aim of sustainable development. So I guess that's everything that needs to be discussed about sufficiency, labor and income, as well as consumption and lifestyles. So if you have queries, just comment it on the comment section or ask it on the group chats. So I will be catering your questions there if you have some. So for your activity, it is slogan making. So on a short bond paper, create a slogan about sufficiency and consumption and lifestyle and present it through a video presentation. So explain its content and relevance and answer this question. So in the video, you will show your slogan, of course, and explain how is it important to sustainable development, and the contents or your designs, how is it related to the topic, things like that, and answer also this question. So as a student and a teacher in the making, how can you promote and practice sustainable living? So be guided by the following criteria. So for the slogan, relevance to the topic, 5 points, content, 3 points, and creativity, 2 points, for a total of 10 points. And for the presentation, that's another 10 points. So how you presented yourselves on the camera, how you presented your outputs, how confident you are in showing your outputs. So that's for the presentation, for a total of 20 points. And for your assignment, so research on environment and development discourses and take note of some examples of these discourses. So you don't need to like write it, just take note of it and remember what you will be reading, because the next STs will be talking about research on environment and development discourses. So I hope that you have learned something from this discussion. And yes, again, if you have queries, just ask me in the GC or on the comment section. And thank you, class. God bless and keep safe. I hope that everybody is safe and sound in their respective homes and have a great week. So utilize the Holy Week for reasonable purposes. So God bless and keep safe, class. Bye.